in an effort to make these videos more interesting, I'm going to tell you all about my day yesterday, which was very, very interesting. So I got up and I went to class, which is not a big deal. But I thought I was going to have time to come back later because I forgot about 1,000,004 things. So I didn't bring my stuff for my later class. So I go to class, it was super boring, it was whatever. And then in my free time, instead of coming back here because I thought I had time, I just like sat around in Baker and did nothing for like 30 minutes. And then I was like, I'm gonna do Zumba with my friend, yeah. And I go to Zumba and it's from 1 to 2. And on the way there, I'm like, crap, I have a meeting with Dr. Lee about my thesis stuff at 2. So I leave Zumba like 40 minutes early, I like splash my face a little and I still look like a wreck. So I show up at his office just like dripping sweat, like, you know, super professional. And so we talk about all my thesis stuff, which just was incredibly overwhelming, but that is later. And then he's like, oh, are you coming to the lab meeting after this? And I was like, yes. I completely forgot we had a lab meeting. And lab meetings are just him and the rest of his students that he's like advising or whatever for something, like not just all of his advising students, but all of his like special project students or whatever. He has 2 doctoral candidates, a senior and me. Anyway, I was like, yeah. And so he like laughed at me for forgetting, but it was fine. So I went to that, and that was the time I was gonna run home, grab my stuff and run back. But I did not have time to do that. So, but I didn't have my stuff and I didn't want to put my notes in a different notebook because that drives me crazy. And so the lab meeting ended a little early. So I think it ended at like 3:45 and my next class started at 4:10. Usually it takes about 15 to 20 minutes to get from my house to campus. So I like run home basically. I'm like power walking, but I get hopelessly lost because I'm trying to take this shortcut. And it's not a shortcut if you don't know where you're going, apparently. I ended up by some weird power plant. I literally had no idea where I was, so that took a little longer than I thought it would. And so I get home, and I grab my stuff, and I run right back out the door, and I made it to class like a minute late, so I'm super proud of myself there. What else happened? Right after that, I went to Newman and had dinner, and then the Newman meeting. And then you need to check out my Facebook because all of us got big buckets of ice water and dumped them on Father Mark, and it was pretty ridiculously amazing. Anyway, so then Newman, and then I finally sat down and got to like relax for a little bit. The other super stressful things, I met with Dr. Lee about my thesis and everything, and we're not sure if, I think I told you that Frozen is going to be a project we're doing, but I don't know if it's just going to be a project or if it's going to turn into my thesis. I don't know. But basically he wants to, or I guess I want to, both of us want to analyze some of the high notes, because some of the high notes are like vowels that aren't really supposed to be sung that high, and so like different singers use different techniques to hit the note. Anyway, it's interesting to me. I don't know if it would be to you. So we're gonna do that, but the thing is, if it's going to just be a project, we kind of need to do it now so that I can work on my thesis next year. But that means I need to apply for a grant to get money to do it like now. And so Dr. Lee and I looked at the application. It looks relatively simple, like, you know, title, research question, hypothesis, what you need money for, all that jazz. Pretty straightforward. And Dr. Lee scrolls down. He's like, well, here's the kicker. And it's due September 25th. So that's less than a month to write a grant proposal. I barely know what a grant proposal is, let alone how to write it. I have no idea what my distinct research question is. All I know is I want to look at vowels. Like, they need something super specific, and I don't have that. And we can't really do anything until I figure that out. And that's super stressful. Plus, we're reading a page a week out of this thing, and I'm writing a paper every week as well. All of my other classes are super reading intensive, too. Like, and all of them made it very clear that they're not going to cover everything in class and you have to read the book. And most of my teachers don't lie about that stuff, so that really sucks. But it looks like I might have a connection into Hollywood, and someone might be able to get me the vowels from actual, like, Idina Menzel and Demi Lovato, so I don't just have to use singers around OU, which would be cool as well. I might do that too. But it would be really cool to actually have Idina Menzel and Demi Lovato's. Like, I don't need the whole soundtrack, I just need the vowels. And we can't use the CD because we can't get the singer's voice separated from the music, because Disney is not that stupid and they make it really impossible to do. Anyway, so that was my day yesterday, and I just worked out, and so that's why I look super gross, but I feel like I'm gonna forget to make you a video if I don't do it right now. But yeah, working out was actually really fun. I have like a ton of energy today. I'm probably gonna crash tonight, which is bad because I really need to do homework tonight. But yeah, working out was really fun. I think I texted you all of my goals, but I want to be able to see my quad, like the line or whatever, like I had after Insanity, which I will return to you, I promise. You just have to remind me. I keep forgetting. I want to look at least somewhat sexy while dancing to Zumba. That's all I ask. I don't have to look amazing. I just don't want to look like an awkward, stiff board like I look now. And I want to be able to do leg lifts because I cannot do leg lifts. Everyone else I know just doesn't have a problem with it, and I swear I'm like practically grunting and I cannot do it, and I don't know what it is because you've punched my abs. I have abs. I don't know why I can't do leg lifts. Anyway, I'm sure this video is way too long, but that's been my day, and my question for you for your next video, tell me how your first week of classes was, because you'll have had all of your classes. I want to hear everything you're taking, about the professors, and whether or not you think you're going to like the class, and I'll do the same thing for you next time I make a video.